A brand for a company is like a reputation for a person. You earn reputation by trying to do hard things well. The human brain is an incredible pattern matching machine. We see our customers as invited guests to a party, and we are the hosts. It's our job every day to make every important aspect of the customer experience a little bit better. What's dangerous is not to evolve. I believe you have to be willing to be misunderstood if you're going to innovate. What we need to do is always lean into the future. When the world changes around you and when it changes against you, what used to be a tailwind is now a headwind. You have to lean into that and figure out what to do, because complaining isn't a strategy. What consumerism really is, at its worst, is getting people to buy things that don't actually improve their lives. Life's too short to hang out with people who aren't resourceful. I think frugality drives innovation, just like other constraints do. One of the only ways to get out of a tight box is to invent your way out. It's not an experiment if you know it's going to work. If you don't understand the details of your business, you are going to fail. If you can't tolerate critics, don't do anything new or interesting. The special ops guys and the firefighters around the world have this great phrase. They say slow is smooth and smooth is fast, and that is true. Everything I've accomplished in my life has been because of that attitude. The best customer service is if the customer doesn't need to call you, doesn't need to talk to you. It just works. If you're competitor focused, you have to wait until there is a competitor doing something. Being customer focused allows you to be more pioneering. The common question that gets asked in business is, why? That's a good question, but an equally valid question is, why not? We've had 3 big ideas at Amazon that we've stuck with for 18 years, and they're the reason we're successful. Put the customer first. Invent and be patient. There'll always be serendipity involved in discovery. If you do build a great experience, customers tell each other about that. Word of mouth is very powerful. For people who are readers, reading is important to them. If you only do things where you know the answer in advance, your company goes away. Because, resilience. If you think of it in terms of the gold rush, then you'd be pretty depressed right now because the last nugget of gold would be gone. But the good thing is, with innovation, there isn't a last nugget. Every new thing creates 2 new questions and 2 new opportunities. Great industries are never made from single companies. There is room in space for a lot of winners. Our motto at Blue Origin is Gradatim Ferociter, step by step, ferociously. There are 2 kinds of companies, those that work to try to charge more and those that work to charge less. We will be the second. My view is there's no bad time to innovate. It is very difficult to get people to focus on the most important things when you're in boom times. The book is not really the container for the book. The book itself is the narrative. It's the thing that people create. I have won this lottery. It's a gigantic lottery, and it's called Amazon. Come, and I'm using my lottery winnings to push us a little further into space. On the internet, companies are scale businesses, characterized by high fixed costs and relatively low variable costs. You can be 2 sizes. You can be 2 sizes. You can be big, or you can be small. It's very hard to be medium. A lot of medium-sized companies had the financing rug pulled out from under them before they could get big. The thing that motivates me is a very common form of motivation, and that is, with other folks counting on me, it's so easy to be motivated. The killer app that got the world ready for appliances was the light bulb. So the light bulb is what wired the world, and they weren't thinking about appliances when they wired the world. They were really thinking about, they weren't putting electricity into the home. They were putting lighting into the home. Percentage margins don't matter. What matters always is dollar margins, the actual dollar amount. Companies are valued not on their percentage margins, but on how many dollars they actually make, and a multiple of that. If your customer base is aging with you, then eventually you are going to become obsolete or irrelevant. You need to be constantly figuring out who are your new customers and what are you doing to stay forever young. The reason we chose vertical landing as our recovery architecture is that vertical landing scales really well. We expect all our businesses to have a positive impact on our top and bottom lines. Profitability is very important to us, or we wouldn't be in this business. I don't think that you can invent on behalf of customers unless you're willing to think long term, because a lot of invention doesn't work. If you're going to invent, it means you're going to experiment. And if you're going to experiment, you're going to fail. And if you're going to fail, you have to think long term. People will visit Mars. They will settle Mars, and we should because it's cool. When it comes to space, I see it as my job. I'm building infrastructure the hard way. I'm using my resources to put in place heavy lifting infrastructure so the next generation of people can have a dynamic, entrepreneurial explosion into space. Humans are unbelievably data efficient. You don't have to drive 1 million miles to drive a car, but the way we teach a self-driving car is have it drive 1 million miles. The one thing that offends me the most is when I walk by a bank and see ads trying to convince people to take out second mortgages on their home so they can go on vacation. That's approaching evil. Amazon strives to be the e-commerce destination where consumers can find and discover anything they want to buy online.